Hey guys, how you doing? Another day in the arena. We are now up to Diamond Tier 2, and we've kind of gone back to our roots, which is mono white aggro. So let's take a look at the deck. I just put it together, this white weenie deck here, and just kind of looking at all the cards that are in standard and like how things pair up against mono black control, which is like the deck to beat right now. I mean, there's also like Rakdos Control, which is basically the same deck, except you have Fable in there, and oh god, what is the other guy, the 3/2 who sacks with the blood token to give -X/-X. So those are a lot of the big decks we're running into. But anyways, let me get into this deck. So in our 1-drop slot, we've got Hopeful Initiate, which is just still a great card. Basically, this hasn't changed from the last season. This is just phenomenal. Especially now that a lot of the mono black decks are running Reckon or Bankbuster, in addition to Meat Cleaver Massacre. We have a lot of targets for Hopeful Initiate. The other 1-drop I have here is Hotshot Mechanic. Now, a lot of the times he's just going to be a vanilla 2/1 for 1 mana, which is actually fine in a beatdown deck, but because we're also running Bankbuster here, we can use him to crew to get extra damage in. So this deck is really kind of using Bankbuster less for card advantage and more for beatdown. We have a number of 3-power creatures to get this going, and then the Hotshot Mechanic also helps out a little bit while filling out the 1-drop curve. In the 2-drops, we've got Bankbuster, which does give us some more card draw if we need it, but also it can get aggressive. We have 2 Sun Gold Sentinel. This is kind of a nod to all the black decks and Tenacious Underdog. There's so much graveyard nonsense going on right now that you really just kind of want some ways to deal with it. I also have a 2-of for Resolute Reinforcements. This is basically Raise the Alarm 2.0, if you were around back when that was a card. Yeah, so basically it gives us a little bit of flash play where we're able to kind of play around some of the more control-y counter decks and kind of play this on their end step. So it can give you some nice surprises. It's not super amazing because it is still just basically a 2/2 for 2. Split into 2 creatures, which is fine, but I think it's a 2-of partially because it sort of fills a little bit of a role. It doesn't power up Initiate, so it's not, and it doesn't crew Bankbuster, so I'm kind of leaving it as a 2-of for now, and this feels right. It's also a good target for Extraction Specialist to bring back from the graveyard for the additional enters the battlefield effect. Okay, so then we've got 3 Adversary. Some decks run 4 of these. I feel like 3 is right because a lot of times you don't necessarily want to drop this on 2. You want to have something else to do. So this, is a powerful enough card that you do want access to at least 1 a game, but I feel like about 1 a game is right, and so a 3-of feels right here. It also plays very well with Extraction Specialist to bring it back and then be able to do its triggered ability. Guardian of New Benalia. We've talked a little bit about this card before. This card is probably the best white card that came out of the new set. It is phenomenal, especially an aggressive deck. The ability to scry and figure out what's going on, make it indestructible. This is like a must deal with threat and allows us, it's one of the few cards that allows us to push past higher toughness creatures. So it can be a card that allows us to fight with Shieldred. There aren't many, but this is one of them. So definitely a 4-of in the deck. 1 Circle of Confinement. Again, this is kind of a nod to Tenacious Underdog and just sort of low mana problem creatures. It's also nice because this can be, we can get this back with Extraction Specialist for added value. So for instance, when we're up against mono black and they go invoke Despair and we have to sack an enchantment, we can then get it back with Extraction Specialist. So, you know, it's good for eating tokens, that kind of thing. I feel like a one of is, because it's sort of like the 5th borrowed time, which I'll get into in a second. So it's not, you know, we want to have enough creatures, so it's not, I don't really want more than one, I think. In our 3-drop slot, we have 2 Adeline. Only reason that we have 2 of these is because it's a legend. I've done 3 before, and it's great, like they have to deal with it, but I feel like this deck is stacked enough that we actually only really want 2 of each of the legends, because there's enough other great cards going on that we can really just go down to 2 on the legends. So anyways, Adeline is phenomenal. You've seen her before. 2 of Wedding Announcement. This is another card where 2 kind of feels right, because like you don't want to have them flooded in your early hand and like not have something to do on turn 3. This is more of a, you've already got stuff out, you can drop it to get the extra card draw if you're attacking with 2 creatures. It does give you some, you know, a little bit of assistance against some of the sweepers. But again, I don't think it's not a 4 of, certainly. And I think that just because we are trying to beat down, it feels like 2 is a little bit better here. Extraction Specialist. Again, I played a deck with this where I had 4 of these, and it felt like it was just kind of too much, because on turn 3 you do want to be able to, you know, obviously you want to be able to get something back, and there were just a lot of times where it was just kind of a sort of a vanilla 3/2 lifelink, which is fine, but it's just not that exciting. So I think going down to 2 kind of again allows us to set up situations where we're able to use it more effectively for the maximum value. 4 borrowed time. So this used to be Bro Cathar. The problem is the meta is just super, super toxic to Brutal Cathar. There is so much removal going on with Cut Down, the Blood Tithe, 3/2 vampire guy, Meat Cleaver Massacre. I mean, there's just left and right there's removal. So Brutal Cathar is really not well positioned in this format, I think. Borrowed Time is phenomenal, though. This deals with anything, basically. And it does also set up kind of a nice little, it gives us some extra card draw off of our Roadside Reliquaries. So since we have a couple artifacts and a couple enchantments, this can kind of help give us a little bit extra value out of our lands. But yeah, this card is great. Definitely a 4 of. Anointed Peacekeeper. This guy is also very good. They start to kind of lose value after the first one, so you know you definitely want to have one show up against some of the decks, like to be able to push back and invoke into like the 7 mana territory is phenomenal. To delay their Sorin, something like that. You know, there's a lot of good stuff you can do with it, or make their Meat Cleaver Massacre, you know, much less effective. So I think 2 kind of feels right, again, just because we don't have a whole lot of extra room in our 3-drop slot. And I think as a 4 of, it's probably too much, but you do want the effect occasionally, so I think a 2 of is fine. And then our 4 drops. We have 2 Wandering Emperor, again, mainly due to the fact that it's a legend. You know, I've certainly seen decks that run 4 of these, and I understand that. But again, we are more of a beatdown deck. This is kind of more of a finisher for us. So, you know, we're attacking in with Adeline and some other nonsense, and then we use this to force the damage through. It is, of course, an amazing card all around. You can use it for, you know, getting value, making tokens, whatever. I feel like it's a 2 of in this deck, just because we want to keep our land fairly low, and we're at 22 sources, so having a 2 of Wandering Emperor feels right. The other card is Sarah Paragon. This card, as kind of your end game finisher, is incredibly powerful. After you've kind of exhausted their hand of all of their removal, and you're fairly sure this is going to stick around for a turn, you can just start getting back all of your stuff every turn. It is totally nuts if you can get this thing going. Yeah. it's a great finisher. Again, a 2 of here, mainly due to the fact that we haven't got that much room on our 4-drop slot and just due to mana concerns. But this is like akin to, you know, in mono black when you're playing Shieldred as like the very end and when they don't have stuff to deal with it. This is kind of the same way. You play this at the very end and then you just recur all of your nonsense. Land count, we've got 2 Iganjo. I ran into a number of decks that were running 2 of these, and like you never expect the second one to hit you. So it gives you a lot of surprise factor. It's also rare enough that I don't think it hurts the curve too much to have an extra Iganjo in the deck. So I think 2 is great. Roadside Reliquary. This is also just giving us a little bit of card draw that we can squeak out of our lands from the regular Bankbuster, and then we have I think 7 enchantments. We've got 4 Borrowed Time, a Circle of Confinement, and 2 Wedding Announcements. So just getting a little bit of extra value. Yeah, that's the deck. Let's get into some games. Try to go for hopefully 5 matches here, but we'll just kind of see how we're feeling. Yeah, perfectly fine hand. You're kind of shooting for either like 2 or 3 mana in your opener. And then here we're going to drop Initiate, and then turn 2 we'll go Bankbuster, turn 3 use this to activate. Haven't seen a lot of mono red really anymore, so this is going to be kind of interesting. And then since we're not going to be able to block effectively, we want to just kind of keep pushing damage here. So we're going to drop our mechanic so we can activate Bankbuster and get in. And we're happy to trade this for the Radha, that's fine. All right, here we're happy to kind of slow the beats down a little bit. We can go ahead and Borrowed Time their 4/2. I think that's the play. But yeah, we're going to do the same attack we did last turn. Yeah, I think we're just getting in. Forcing lethal. They probably have Lightning Strike or something like that. Maybe they have 2 removal spells. But I think that's the play. They might have a Braid, I suppose, it's possible. Rending Flame. Interesting. Sure, that's fine. And now we just drop Guardian. Which can't block, but they need to draw something here. So either they're slow rolling it. Yeah, I guess they're slow. They drew the spell. So, close match. I don't think I was expecting Rending Flame there. Alright, 0 and 1 in matches, losing to mono red. See if we can find a mono black opponent. Okay, looks like maybe more either Rakdos or mono red. Or mono red, I guess. Yeah, we definitely want to go Bankbuster here, because then we can go like, Adversary, Initiate the next turn, and that's just fine. I think we're racing. Like otherwise, what we could do, I guess, if we were worried about them getting in with, they could have like Reckless Stormseeker, and so maybe in that case we just play Bankbuster and say go. I actually think that that maybe is the play. Like, they could play another Devastator, they could play a Phoenix Chick, and then we just lose out on damage. That's the downside, is that we don't know. But I think that they definitely run Stormseeker. Or like Squee is really good for them. So I think let's sit here. Okay, now we go Intrepid Adversary and get in. And drop Initiate. Okay, so they do have Stormseeker. I'm not sure why they didn't get in with both. Okay, now we have Emperor, which looks good. I guess the other thing is we could just attack with both here, and then if and when they block, use Emperor to really get them. That is actually a little bit better, I think. Like, we're kind of telegraphing it super obviously, but I think I'm okay with that, and I want the lifelink. like they're definitely not walking into it, and that's fine. Problem is, like, we do give them an extra +2/+0 here, but I think it's fine. Okay, that is a fair amount of damage actually, but I think it's still okay. I guess we could have like borrowed time instead, but I think, yeah, Emperor is just great.
I'm home.
Okay, let's get that one out of there.
This is what you get for hurting my people.
Okay, now I think we Sun Gold Sentinel so we can get in for a bunch, and then we can. They probably have Play with Fire, so I don't want to put a token. I don't want to give a counter to our adversary. I think instead, maybe we give it to the Initiate. Yeah. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do here. I think, okay, let's play Sentinel. And then we can also play Initiate. We'll activate our Bankbuster. And I guess we could make this like a 5/5. So we're pushing, what is that? Oh, never mind, we're just killing them if we do that. Yeah, so I think we put the counter, I suppose we put on the Initiate since I don't think there's any instance that do 3.
Strike fast and strike hard.
Okay, 1-1 in matches. Looks good. And then here we're going to go Bankbuster because next turn we can activate it with Sentinel. It's a very big difference to like think of this as an aggressive tool instead of just straight value. More mono red. I guess, yeah, we just play 2 of these and then use them to activate and get in again. That seems good. Sure. I guess we get an announcement going, and then draw a card off of Bankbuster and just push in for. Well, we're gonna attack first and enlist to get the scry going. So yeah, let's do it like that. Oops, never mind. Here we go. Enlist. So we're going to use, yeah, we probably want Mechanic. Actually, Mechanic is pretty good here. Although we'll have a little 1/1 as well. Well, Mechanic is fine. I guess we could save it by drawing a card. Do we care? I think, well, we have it. Yeah, we might as well save it. Okay, I guess that was enough for him to tap out. Alright, 2-1 in matches. All against mono red. I swear I haven't seen this much mono red. Hand looks great. Also, it's nice that Anointed Peacekeeper also can be used to crew Bankbuster. And Sarah Paragon as well, just in case. If you haven't seen Sarah Paragon in action, it is truly a beautiful thing. The salty tears from the other side of the table are quite great. If she can go unopposed. So our opponent is either timing out or deep in the tank, pondering the mysteries of the universe. Okay, here we go. I've seen more of this stuff kind of cropping up on licensed hearse. I guess it's just because there's so much mono black going on with all the tenacious underdogs that they're really just trying to get that going. Yeah, let's do this. look upstairs, see what's going on. Oh wow, Elspeth Resplendent. Very cool. Meathook Massacre. They have one black source right now, I think, so I'm not as worried about that. I guess we can put an end to their wedding announcement for a little while. Seems good. Okay, I guess they have Meathook Massacre online. But only for 2. I think we want to get, let's see, do we want to get Paragon going? That actually seems pretty great. Because even if they draw a land and get one of their things, we can get our borrowed time going. Yeah, I think let's do Paragon here. Continue with the beatdown. Although I suppose they can just get it with Unlicensed Hearse, but it's a 4 toughness and it allows us to get aggressive. Okay, so they do have enough for Elspeth. Or I suppose wedding announcement. I guess let's start drawing cards. We can get our own wedding announcement going on, getting some more cards in there. Oh, that is interesting. Now we can actually, let's see, what does Elspeth even do? Put up +1. Okay, sure. Do we want to stop Elspeth or do we want to stop Matt? I think we want to stop Meathook because they could do that to us next turn. Not a huge fan of that. So let's get in first before we let them know what's going on. No reason to give them full knowledge. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn off Meathook. Okay, where is Meathook? Oh, the Meathook, excuse me. So I guess they can go like Elspeth minus. figure out what's going on.
I'm not looking for trouble, but I'll fight if I have to.
Look at the top 7. Okay.
I'll be your shield. Those who get in my way tend to regret it.
Let's sack our bank buster. That seems good. So I think they're just dead. It's gotta be GG, right? All right, 3-1 in matches. First non-mono red opponent. Yeah, those anointed peacekeepers or whatever really went the distance in that match. I do like them. I think that, I mean, maybe you could squeeze an extra one in. I sort of like it at 2, though. I think that the deck feels pretty solid with the numbers where they are. Lovely hand here. We've got at least a couple things to do. Okay, here is our mono black opponent. Oh, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So many curtains. Oh my god. And yeah, that is menace, so we can't block, if you're wondering. So I think we just drop Peacekeeper, look upstairs, see what they got going on, and then get in for 4. Okay, they have Invoke, and 3 mana, 4 mana. So I think we could turn off Invoke. I kind of like that. So Invoke is really nasty. Bankbuster is meh. Let's turn off Invoke. And I guess, like, there was an argument for maybe not attacking here, because then we could block one of their revealing eyes. Maybe, you know, oh well, it's too late now. We already tapped a guy, but maybe it would have been better to be a little bit more defensive there. Yeah, actually, come to think of it, that definitely would have been a better play to not attack there. Although that does allow them to get their invoke back, so I'm not sure. Well, I suppose we could have activated with this then. Yeah, it would have been better to block. Alright, either way, we've got to get adversary online. Okay, so do we push for 8? I think we actually do. Because we're, let's see, we're at 11. They suppose they could push for 10. So yeah, I think we go for it here. Maybe that was a bit greedy, but I don't know. Okay. Goes to 5. Then what? So now if we drop Sarah, activate, and shove, let's see what we can't get in with. Oh, you know what we could do? We could play Bankbuster, use Mechanic on this Bankbuster, push for 12, and then I guess they can do a couple blocks there. Does it matter if we play Sarah, or I guess we could get 2 spells in if we do it this way. I think Sarah is better. It gives us, well, see, we can't get anything back with it, so maybe we don't. And then that also gives us this on defense, so I kind of like that. Alright, so let's activate this one. Oh, you know what? Oh, that's alright. Okay, let's just get in with these 3. They can invoke, which is not great, but we dropped them to 1. I guess we could have held back with adversary. I don't know. Okay, they're very unsure about their blocks. We want to kill Revealing Eye for sure. Okay, this looks good. Okay. Now I think we drop both of our 2 drops here. They're at 5, they can get us with Vogue, but I think that's okay. Is there any reason we want to have Sarah Paragon? I mean, we could get in with Evasion that way, but no, I think this is still better. Then we can use it to crew one of them next turn. Okay, so we Sarah, and then we activate both, push with 2 4/4s and the Benalia, and that looks pretty good. And then these, I think these are both force blocks. I guess, no, they could block the Benalia, I suppose. But it's just free damage, so we might as well. It means they won't be able to like double block one of these, which is great. Oh, that's so funny. I can replay that. That's hilarious. Okay, so now they're invoking. I think they're just dead, though. I think we lose Benalia because it doesn't really do much. Like, these both crew. So, like, even if he goes to 3, he just dies on the backswing. And the rest is just for the tears. So yeah, the Bankbusters, they match up very well against these Trespassers. Our opponent wants to draw it out as long as possible, looks like. Excuse me. So, 4-1 in matches, 80% win rate, not bad. We went up against 3 mono red aggro, and then what else did we play? We played mono black and I think blue white, something like that. So yeah, very, very happy with this deck, actually. I think it matches up against the field very well. I can't say enough good things about Sarah Paragon. Like, this card is very powerful. Great endgame finisher. I think with the borrowed time, you do really have solid game against Shieldred in mono black. So I think this is a very good deck, and I would definitely recommend running it. If you like aggro, if you like mono white. It seems to have like good endgame, like a lot more reach than most mono white decks that I've played. Has like a solid plan all the way throughout the game, from early to late game. All right, there it is. There's the W. Almost to Diamond Tier 1, or Diamond 1. There we are, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Oh, and I suppose subscribe if you don't mind.